Welcome back. This is episode 151 of the NYYST podcast. I am your host, Christian, as always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
You.
And Stat Guy, Ryan.
What up?
Ryan.
Yeah.
Before we started the show, you guys made fun of me because I said I got a haircut. And you said, oh, well, your wife cuts your hair. So you can't say that. So I'm not allowed to say that I got a haircut.
No.
But you definitely need one, bro.
Can your wife cut my hair? Would she cut my hair?
Absolutely, if you wanted her.
Oh,
She
really?
doesn't know how to cut
I would
hair.
definitely, if anyone's
just knows
going to
how to
cut my hair, I
buzz.
want it to be Lindsay.
She knows how to buzz hair. And what I said, I made him take his hat off because
Yeah, does she know how to
like
cut or
looks.
buzz? 'Cause
You
I'm
look
not
very
buzzing.
clean right now on top of your head.
No, she'll use
Show
the
everyone.
scissors.
I got a big
She'll
head.
use-
You can watch us on YouTube, by the way, if you're just
what?
listening.
Oh.
You're bald as fuck right now,
Well,
and it looks clean.
It's
It looks
also
nice,
the light.
though.
It's also the lighting. It's not that bad.
So what I said was, you look bald as fuck. It looks good.
Oh, you can't say.
And he goes, oh, I got a haircut. And I said, you don't tell me you got a haircut. I know your wife cut your hair. You don't tell people you got a haircut. When your wife cut your hair, you say, oh, yeah, my wife cut my hair today.
No, I still got a haircut.
From your wife.
Oh, does it matter? Do you go around saying I got a haircut from my barber? No, you got a haircut.
Got a haircut.
It doesn't matter who cut your hair. You still got a haircut.
You're just misleading. Leave us a review. Let us know what you think. Is Christian in the wrong or the right?
Okay. I think Ryan definitely needs a haircut. His shit's all curly.
My hair, I haven't gotten a haircut in a year.
Dude, you need a haircut. I want to cut it.
I like it long.
You know what you should do? When's the last time you cut your hair?
Literally, it was probably right after the Yankees lost last year because I think I went to friggin' Supercuts. They had that MLB deal. Look at that shit, bro. That's
Ryan only gets haircuts when there's good deals going on.
yeah, it looks good.
He's like, oh, 50%
Rating a
off.
review, should I get a haircut?
Might as.
I think that's what you should go.
You know what?
with.
If you're watching on YouTube right now,
My friends say I look like Wayne.
leave us a comment. Should Stack Eye Ride get a haircut? Yes or no? Do you like the long hair? Do you like the old school Tim Lincecum / Bumgarner look right now?
No, it's just straight up. It's a bum look. Like
My one friend called me DeGrom. Yeah, I got that DeGrom, but it's not. Yeah, I got that Lincecum.
Yeah, but you know the biggest difference between you and
I got that
DeGrom?
Clay Buchholz greasy.
He's a fucking Cy Young Award-winning Major League pitcher.
right. But if I was in the major leagues, I would definitely put a bunch of product in my hair, and I'd always be touching my hair to get nice.
Like Clay Buchholz.
So why don't you use product?
Actually, I did just find a new product. I might throw it in there. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll get there when we get there. Talk to Lindsay about it.
Well, so you name dropping my wife. Let's name drop Chris's wife before we get into the show today. Okay.
Sure.
So your wife is downstairs before we come up here, and she's like, well, you know, if you guys talk about a certain something, I'm going to listen to the show today. And if you don't, then I'm not. So I don't know. So I told your wife that she should just listen and see regardless whether we talk about this
Right.
or not.
I agree. Are you going to talk about it?
I don't know. Do you want me to?
Yeah, I really do. I
It's up
think
to
you
you.
should.
Okay, well, Ryan doesn't know this.
Yes, he does. Christian's having a baby.
Me personally, I'm not having a baby. My wife is pregnant.
You're pregnant too.
Congrats,
You
dude.
didn't know that?
I have gained a lot of weight, so
No,
yes,
no,
I
no.
do
When-
look like
when they're pregnant, you're pregnant.
is that how that works?
It is how it works.
So Chris likes to gain sympathy when we have people on. He's like, "Well, you know, I can't. Oh, my wife is. Well, now mine is also. So now I
Congrats,
can be
bro.
like, thank you.
Congrats.
I
awesome.
really,
You're gonna be a great
genuinely, it actually hurts me to be happy for you,
No,
but I am genuinely happy for you.
That's awesome.
Genuinely. And soak it up because it'll probably be the last time I'm actually this happy for you.
Well, I expect you to get super triggered.
And I can't
soon.
wait until your kid turns like 3 or 4. I think that's a very, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know
That
what the-
age where like things really will scar you for life. I'm gonna tell him all about you,
Okay, what are you gonna tell him or her that they wouldn't already know?
so you know it's a boy.
I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's a human baby.
Christian's wife doesn't know this, but he's actually revealing the gender on the podcast before she even finds out.
That's great. I don't even know how I would be able to do that when I don't know what it is. So
Congrats, man.
thank you.
I'm really happy for you.
Okay, you're not gonna be happy.
No, no, I know.
You don't even know me like other people
You're
know me.
miserable now without kids. I can't imagine you when you have them.
Chris is like, oh, I'm going to tell stories about you. You don't even know stories to tell. Like, you came in after all the stories.
I know enough.
Mm,
I know enough.
you don't know what. You don't know shit.
You know what's kind of cool though?
What's
when
that?
when your son or daughter is born, you know who won't be too much older than them?
Your daughter?
The Yankees' new pitching coach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Matt Blake, it's a good segue there.
That
Thanks.
was nice.
Matt Blake is the Yankees' new pitching coach. He was hired, I don't know, Wednesday.
One of those
Who knows,
days.
bro?
One of
He's
those
hired.
days in the middle of the week. What date is November 9th, this article is
yesterday,
written here.
bro.
Today's the 11th.
Today's the 10th.
What's today?
The 10th.
November 10th.
Today's the 10th. Actually, let's see. What day did we tweet about it? 3 days ago. Matt Blake, formerly of the Indians organization, is the new Yankees pitching coach. And as somebody said on Twitter, he looks more like Blake from State Farm than he does somebody that's going to be telling James Paxton how to throw his slider in a big spot. I don't, be honest with you, I know just as much about him as everybody else does just by reading articles about the guy. It sounds like a good hire. I mean, I really can't get too excited about it because, again, what do we really know about him? But he comes from the Indians organization. They have done a relatively good job of developing pitchers. He was, Ryan, go up so I could get his official job title here. He was the assistant director of player development, and 2 days before he was hired as the Yankees pitching coach, he was given a promotion to pitching director of the Indians organization. So it just shows you that they held him in high regard, and
it shows us that he's getting paid by the Yankees, because I can't imagine getting that type of promotion isn't any money to sneeze at.
oh, I'm sure he's not making a
Making
ton of
bank.
money. What's he making?
I don't know, man.
$250.
Maybe
I don't know.
$250 more than I'm making right now.
So you make no money.
Make
$0.
$0.
Mm-hmm.
Make $0 an hour.
$0 an hour.
So when he was 29 years old, Blake was actually a pitching coach at a high school near Boston.
So 5 years from now.
Huh?
How old is he?
He's 33 years old.
Wow.
He's from he's from
fucking Boston.
He's from Boston. He's probably going to talk like this and look for his car in the parking lot at Yankee Stadium.
Are you a fucking cop? You better not be a fucking cop.
He's the owner and founder of Elite Pitching Development. He's worked at Cressy Sports Performance, who has helped nurture the careers of guys like Noah Syndergaard, but Max Scherzer has worked there, so he's got a good resume. This guy.
And Trevor Bauer had some really good words to say about him on Twitter. And if you look at Trevor Bauer, maybe he needs Matt Blake, because didn't he just shit the bed like the rest of his starts after he left
He
Cleveland?
didn't really pitch well one year.
Yeah, he didn't look good.
Yeah, but you know what? I read a little more into Blake and his background. And this is like everything I was reading is exactly what Trevor Bauer has stood for the last like few years. And I thought about it and I was like, whether the technology end of pitching, because that's what this guy is. I mean, it's all about the video. It's all about the analysis of all these different, softwares and programs they have. The one thing I thought was, whether it be good or bad, we don't know yet, because here's the thing. There's no way. I'm not saying Larry Rothschild wasn't a good pitching coach and that he didn't bring his own stuff to the table, but there's no way Larry's doing that
Larry
kind of
didn't
stuff.
stay unemployed very long. He's already gotten a job as a San Diego
And that
Padres
says a lot
pitching
as an
pitching
older
coach.
guy.
For sure.
Right? But here's the thing, like, maybe the Yankees need this. Maybe this is like going to be really good for the Yankees. Maybe they need this type of guy that is more mechanical and working on certain things and spin rate and stuff like that, because the Yankees have enough talent in this rotation and they better add to it. But they have enough talent in this rotation where you should feel much more confident in these guys. Like, I feel like Severino is so great, and I know he was hurt last year, but he can be better, right? He can be on a different level. He can be talked about the same way Garrett Cole and Verlander are. And he's not. He's not yet.
No, just go up so I can see who this guy is.
Yeah, that's a good point though, Chris, because it does seem like his resume that he's all about, video technology, measuring spin rate, and how many guys are on this pitching rotation, which is nasty stuff. Just great sliders that could improve even more. Adam Ottavino.
Like I feel like the Yankees have such great stuff, but like these guys, I think Larry's biggest problem was they kind of plateau, right? Like Severino kind of broke out a couple of years ago, but he's so young, and the reason why you get excited for a guy being young isn't just that he's going to be in the league for a long time, but there should be so much more room to grow. And I didn't see Severino, again, I know he was hurt, but he still was there all of 2018, and he really fell off again at the end of the year. I didn't see him get better, and that's what I want to start seeing. And I think a guy like Matt Blake can do that for this team.
Well, he's all about the analytics, so
it'll be interesting. It's going to be a whole new age of pitching coach. Because really,
I think it's good for the Yankees.
It started with Minnesota's last year. I can't remember his name, but he was an Arkansas Razorbacks pitching coach over there, and now he's in the major league. So they're going younger. They're going with younger guys that are more
was it
dependent
Hobbs
on technology.
Was it Matt Hobbs? Because that's who my buddy Santo texted me. Jesse Santo. We talked about him before. He actually Hobbs was the pitching coach at Mizzou when Jesse was there.
Wes Johnson's the name of the guy I'm thinking of.
Go back to that article so I could read this.
Sure.
This is from the founder of the Cressy Sports Performance Institute of Technology.
And just to give background, that's like the place where, correct me if I'm wrong, where like all the spin rate, they hook pitchers up to monitors and shit, right?
Sure.
That's kind of what they do.
I'm sure that you go there.
I'll look it up.
But anyway, this is what Cressy had to say himself. He said, "You can have all the analytics you want. If you can't disseminate it to people, it doesn't matter, and that's what separates Matt." And if you go further down the article here, I got another good quote that I liked. This is from, I believe his name is Keith Fredericks, who hired...
I think it was Kirk
Fredericks, who hired Blake as the pitching coach of that high school outside of Boston. He said, spin rate, launch angle. Matt was talking about all of that before almost anyone else. So
yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think this was a really good hire.
And he was a pitching coach for the Cape Cod League in 2015.
For the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox.
That's on my bucket list, by the way.
What, to be the pitching coach for a Cape Cod team?
No, to go watch a game of the Cape Cod League.
So,
I thought you played. Didn't you play in something like that?
It was
Georgia. I'm thinking of
Georgia. Yeah. Played in tournaments in Georgia.
Yeah, the Upton brothers were in that tournament like the year before you were.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
So there's a lot of people coming out and saying all the things that you want to kind of hear about Matt Blake. So you can't, like we said, it's a pitching coach. You don't want to get too excited. You don't want to get too emotional about it. But apparently, this is the direction the team is going in. So we'll see.
See the sexy name? No.
I was about to ask you guys, were you disappointed that it wasn't David Cohn? Because
No.
I feel like Twitter wasn't too happy.
Twitter
about
is
that.
always disappointed.
I like the no-name hire a lot more.
Clearly, interviewing David Cohn was just them going through the procedure, right? Like everyone started talking about it, so they can't snub him. They got to give him an interview. But I don't think, if you look at the entire list of guys that they interviewed for this job, David Cohn sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean,
you want to know, they probably gave him an interview out of respect to him.
That's what I'm saying.
But they also probably don't want anybody in the dugout that's going to overshadow Aaron Boone.
Yep. I mean, that's really, I just think they were, and I said it last show, I don't think he would get the job because I think they're more concerned with that type of stuff in the clubhouse.
David Cohn is a personality.
Right, exactly.
And there's
possible distraction.
You're not going to know Matt Blake from a friggin', like we said, like an insurance salesman when you see the two of them walking down the street.
And I don't think the Yankees want to burn that bridge, right? Like everyone loves Coney in the booth. If Coney's a pitching coach and he sucks and they fire him, you might burn that bridge with him.
Here's what Bauer had to say about Blake. He said, he's awesome, one of the smarter guys I know, knows a lot about pitching, a lot about development, good communicator, really excited for him getting this opportunity and pumped to see the results. So, me too.
Me too, man.
Like we said, it's not sexy, but the guy gets the
He's
job
kind
done.
of he's a decent looking guy though, like
if
himself.
If he gets the job done, what does it matter?
He's gonna have to shave that beard off.
That he doesn't have the biggest name out there. That's what I tweeted. Like, it's the same
cash.
thing when you compare DJ LeMahieu to Manny Machado. The fans on Twitter got all upset that the Yankees went with the less sexy name, but wasn't that the better fit for the team?
Oh yeah, obviously.
So I kind of liken that to this. We'll see how this.
And I don't think there's been much negative surrounding this hire. I think the fans have
positive.
Done their homework and know that this guy can be really beneficial to this team.
So,
okay. Oh man, I can't wait until you have a fucking kid, and you're on no sleep, miserable.
Yeah, you can't wait.
Yeah,
you're about to go through it again, Chris.
You're gonna get fucking shanked if that.
Yeah,
happens.
but I'm used to it now. You know.
I don't know, man.
You're gonna poke.
Not really. You're not really that used to it.
I'm not used to it. You never get used to that shit.
So do we have to keep talking about Matt Blake?
No.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Matt Blake. You're
congratulations,
the coach,
Matt.
and the first time. Let's assume that the Yankees don't make a big signing this offseason. We'll say what? Sevy gets the ball opening day.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I don't know. I think Paxton.
Okay, Paxton gets the ball the opening day. I just want a name. I just want you to give me a name. Paxton.
Yeah, I'd say Paxton if they don't.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Matt Blake. It's all sunshine and roses now, but the first time that the very first ball that James Paxton throws on opening day, the fans are going to be calling for your job.
Oh yeah.
So welcome to New York.
Welcome.
So not much else has happened in Yankee land. You know, we're in that the official free agent period has started, but it's not like the NFL and the NBA where everybody signs in the first 2 days. This shit drags out in Major League Baseball.
They have their meetings, and I think the GM meetings are coming up
this week, or
pretty sure they're this week. So you start to hear some rumblings over the next week or so.
November 19th to the 21st.
Yeah, okay, so next week.
Okay. Bada bang. So congrats.
Yeah. So as we were saying here, not much has happened right now, you know. Just going through the motions here until stuff starts happening. So this is week 3 of the Keep 'em Dump 'ems, and this is the last week that we're doing it. We got 5 people, 4 players, 1 general manager to discuss here today. We're going to incorporate before we actually discuss what we would do with him. The Yankees did not extend a qualifying offer to Didi Gregorius this week.
Correct.
Okay. So that means that if Didi leaves the Yankees don't get anything for him. If they would have extended the qualifying offer, Didi could have accepted it at 1 year, $17.8 million. And if he had left, the Yankees would get draft pick compensation from the team that signed him. They didn't choose to extend that offer to him. So
that kind of says a lot.
So tell me what it says to you then.
It says to me that if you truly were at a point where you were going to sign him, I mean, at that point, it's a no risk, right? Because if you offer him that and he rejects it, okay, then even if you're going to move on, you're getting something for it. But to not even offer it is kind of suspicious to me, in a sense of I don't know if their intentions are really to bring him back at all. Right?
I don't think their intentions are to bring him back at $17.8 million. I don't think they want to pay him that amount. And I also think maybe that they don't want to see him.
I guess that's a good point.
Bring him back in a long-term deal. And maybe, I don't know if they're thinking this, but maybe they, out of respect to him and seeing how some of these guys are being treated that have the draft pick compensation, maybe they want to make it a little bit easier on Didi and finding a new home.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they also might be worried that another team wouldn't match that offer, wouldn't want to pay him that kind of money. And then they'd be forced to accept that qualifying offer and pay him what they'd have to pay $100.
No, the only way
the mean salary of MLB's 125 highest paid players.
Yeah, well, $17.8 million.
Right. So maybe, I mean, they just don't want to even risk having to pay him that.
Well, that's my thing. Like, if you really look at the market, though, don't you think Didi Gregorius has earned that much? If you really look at some of the other guys, that maybe he's a tick below them, when you're talking about the great shortstops right now. But being a tick below puts him at around that $17.8 million.
Didi's coming into free agency at a really bad time because of his performance last year.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean, look
at these contracts I pulled up here for the 2020
he's not an
shortstop.
The way he played last year,
can you break it? Oh, you just did shortstops. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The way he played last year, he's not an $18 million a year player.
Right.
Yeah. You also have to take into consideration he was hurt.
It doesn't matter. That's what people are looking at right now.
I understand. But so do you think, we talk about this all the time with free agency, can Didi Gregorius turn into one of those guys that falls to the cracks?
No, not with this now. Now that he doesn't have the draft pick compensation, it's gonna be. That's what I was just saying. It's gonna be a lot easier for another team to sign him.
Right.
But what I'm saying
hold on
is,
to these draft picks like they hold on to their fucking balls nowadays. Okay, nobody wants to give up these draft picks unless you're a guy like Garrett. Yeah, Garrett Cole's gonna have draft pick compensation attached to him. They offered him a qualifying deal, but he's Garrett Cole.
Here's what I'm saying to you.
I mean, Didi Gregorius is not on that level.
Don't look at the screen right now. And just tell me,
it's too late. I already saw it, and I already know
in your mind,
Xander Bogaerts is the highest paid shortstop in Major League Baseball.
Okay, but in your mind, out of all Major League Baseball, where would you rank Didi as a shortstop? Put a number on it, like put a 1 through whatever, 1 through 30, whatever.
Okay, so you want to say maybe he's 3 or 4,
right? I mean, we've said that in the past.
But we were also saying,
though,
but
man.
it doesn't matter where you rank him. What's the gap?
This was a good year for shortstops.
You were saying last year, when Hicks was relatively healthy for his standards, that he was the second best center fielder in the league. But the gap between him and Mike Trout is so big that it doesn't even. What are you really saying?
But you're looking at that from an outside perspective. Think of it as Didi. So if you think you're the 3rd or 4th best player in baseball, right? What are the 3rd and 4th guys ranked on this list here? What are they making?
All less than $17.8 million.
Around 15 and 15.2.
So if the Yankees signed Didi around 15 or 16, would that be fair? Or do you think that's still overpaying Didi Gregorius? Because this is what I'm talking about, of falling through the cracks here. Don't you think Didi thinks he deserves maybe 16 or 17 million?
No.
And not a lot of teams might offer him that. So what if he does turn into one of those guys that doesn't sign?
I think he will sign.
I'm hearing the Reds are, you sent that article, or you said that Heyman tweeted it, and I read an article. The Reds are very interested in him.
He was drafted by the Reds?
Yeah, was that his first team that he came up with?
Yeah, because someone tweeted.
He did play for the Reds before he went to Arizona.
That they're great at Photoshop, and they posted a picture of him, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, dude, you're amazing." Yes, the Reds were his first team.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know.
So I mean, Didi's looking at that 17.8. I'm telling you right now, he would have taken it in a heartbeat. So
that just shows you that the Yankees aren't at that number for him.
Right.
I threw this out there on Twitter the other day. I think maybe 3 for 45 is the ballpark the Yankees might be comfortable giving him. Maybe a little less on the money.
Well, you got to think too. There's a couple.
You don't want to backload it. You want to front load it.
How many shortstops?
Yeah, for the first year, but I know that after
you backload it, then you can't trade his ass.
2021, the salary dumps from $90 million to $50 million for the Yankees.
Oh, the Yankees are going to have a lot of. Garrett Cole is the free agent. If the Yankees are going to be stingy, he's a free agent in the wrong year because they have a ton of money coming off their books after 2020.
Right. Yeah, I was looking that up.
You would have to say you can almost guarantee that they would really be looking to spend money.
Like a lot of money off the books.
But here's my thing, right? We talked about last week these signings of 3 years, whatever. I mean, that seems to be, if you want to look at this rationally here, that's the window right now, I think. I think the Yankees need to have their best 3 or 4 seasons over the next 3 to 4 years to maximize how many championships they can win. Is Didi that guy for you? How many shortstops are available right now? You have guys like Lindor, right, who are a possibility, and there's a couple other names that I'm just forgetting right now. But
Well, I think the thing with the Yankees is that they wouldn't really necessarily need to replace him with the shortstop off the market.
That's true.
It would be within, and
That's very true.
They would put Gleyber Torres at short, and DJ would be your everyday second baseman.
So I'm glad you just said that and reminded me, because that's why I'm thinking of a couple other guys, because you don't necessarily have to sign a shortstop right now.
Yeah, really nobody worth signing at the shortstop position other than Didi.
But okay, so Rendon, that's the
free
guy
agency.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah, he's third base.
Right? So
yeah, Anthony Rendon's third base.
would you rather grab Rendon, throw him at third, Torres at short, Didi at second or first or wherever it may be, and play it from there? Does that give you a better team? Is that realistic for the Yankees? I think the Yankees are really evaluating Didi at this point as in, is he the guy who's going to bring us a championship?
Why do you think the Yankees are going to go out there and spend tons of money on a third baseman?
Well, there's a lot of factors in it, man.
Tell me what they are then.
Well, there's one.
What?
But there's a lot of factors within that one factor of Miguel Andujar.
What about Gio Urshela?
Yeah. What about
Gio too?
What about DJ LeMahieu? If you're going to bring in a
Yeah,
shortstop.
but dude,
you're
you're
going after
talking
Anthony
about
Rendon,
Rendon. You're talking.
I'd be all right with them looking into it, because then at that point you're just trying to overload your offense to be just a completely unstoppable. So I'm not against getting Rendon. I don't think from a business perspective, since they don't necessarily need help from that position at a crazy rate, that they're not going to be willing to.
I mean, shit,
red
dude.
zone what
Somebody
other
posted
teams
this on
are.
Twitter. It's
Wait,
an article.
I don't mean to cut you off, but let me just say this. With that point, you really don't need to sign anyone, including Didi, right?
Yeah, no, offensively,
Because
sure.
if Urshela is your solution, which I wouldn't mind, you really don't have to sign Didi or anyone.
I know. Yeah,
You can use all that money
Offensively.
you can allocate it in other ways.
No kidding. The Yankees don't have to sign any infielders, and they'd be perfectly fine.
The
with what
only
they have
thing
on
I
the
think that
roster
the
right now.
Yankees should maybe consider signing offensively is to solidify your bench players. Maybe I know Jason Kipnis is available. I know Justin Smoke's available, and I know
Nice.
Corey Dickerson's available. Those three are three guys that I'd be looking into offensively.
I could see Smoke as like
I
a
would-
mid-season pickup of like
Smoke would be very, very.
he's a lefty
I
batter.
think that the
I think.
Yankees have somehow strayed away from arguably the biggest advantage in all of sports, and that's that right field porch. They have a lot of right-handed hitters that do go opposite field, but they are just they're not taking advantage of something that they really need to be, and that's utilizing left-handed power to take advantage of that right field porch. They're just not doing
It
that.
just doesn't make any sense to sign Jason Kipnis to sit him on your bench. Why wouldn't you just let Tyler Wade be there?
Because
up
I'd
there
want
over
more of a power hitter to be
there?
a lefty
what?
power hitter.
Then Tyler Wade can stop being a bitch and learn how to hit home runs. Then.
Yeah, they're all steroids.
Sure, yeah,
man.
sure. I'm saying more of let's take advantage of that porch out there.
Fucking HGH, bro. That's what all the cool
Justin
kids
Smoke
do.
would be cool. Those are guys that probably can start elsewhere. Dickerson's a good person.
What were you
going to
bring up, Christian? What were you going to say about a quote?
Well, you just go to Kipnis here. Kipnis has hit 35 home runs in the last 2 years, so he's not a big
How
power
many games?
guy. He played 147 in 2018 and 121 last year, and he had 18.
He's.
I think Kipnis
he
is more
fell
of a-
off in the last couple
I think
He
seasons.
he's
never
just-
hit more than 23 home runs in a season. He's not a big power guy.
I think he's more of
Fair
a
enough.
pop guy. I mean, really, if you want to
That's
argue him
fair.
as a bench
No,
player.
I had him.
I'm saying at that point he was making decent money. I would just rather Tyler Wade be on my bench
That's fair.
than bring in a guy like Jason Kipnis. I don't know where this originated from. Somebody posted on Twitter. It's a quote from Didi Gregorius. It says, "I don't look at this as I'm the guy who plays shortstop and will have a lot of money." He said, "It's not about money for me. It's about the love of the game and what I do for my teammates. That's all that matters for me. At the end of the day, if the Yankees, want to offer me a contract, they'll offer me a contract. But right now, I'm just focusing on what I can do, and we'll see how everything is going to turn out."
All right, offer him $10 million then. Fuck it. He doesn't care about the money.
Yeah, I don't think you should insult the man, though.
I think what you said, 3 years, 45, even 2 years. I think that's fair if they want him back. I mean, we don't know that. So I'm sure
I think they want him back at their number. They're not gonna.
Yeah.
They're not gonna play games with him. They're gonna give
okay.
him. They'll probably sit down and say, "Hey, we'll like you back, but this is." And he has no bargaining power with the Yankees. The Yankees will just say, okay, we'll fucking go with Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, I mean,
he knows who they have.
If he's serious about that statement, and if the Yankees have any desire to bring him back, then they'll make it work. I mean, they will make it work. If it has to be on the Yankees' terms, like you said, they're not going to disrespect the guy. They're going to give him a respectable contract, and they'll come to some type of an agreement. It's just all about, do the Yankees want him back?
Okay, so what do the fans want, though? Because this is the keep 'em, dump 'ems.
Keep him, dump him. I'm going to say keep.
Yeah, I'd say 70.
I'm going to say 64%.
Yeah, it was 61% the fans voted to keep Didi Gregorius.
Wow, I'm surprised it's that low. He's a fan favorite.
I really thought that Didi would tilt the other way because there's a lot of groundswell on Twitter that people just don't want the guy back.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't fully blame them. I blame them for kind of for their reasonings. Sometimes I see Didi sucks. He's washed up. No, Didi doesn't suck. Didi's done a lot for this team, and he did it filling in for one of the greatest Yankees of all time. He's done a lot for this organization on and off the field. So I think the people who want him gone because they have just a short-term memory, those are the people that bother me. But the people who are putting a logical spin behind it, maybe he's not the best fit right now. Maybe there's other guys who are better. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue that either. Would you rather have him or would you rather have Lindor? As much as we love Didi, who makes the Yankees better?
Lindor.
Yeah, I mean,
what's it going to take to get Francisco Lindor on this team?
I'm not talking about that, though. I'm just saying in general.
But then you have to look at it at that point. If you're doing
realistically, yes.
Garcia.
Realistically,
yes. Are you going to burn through whatever assets you have to bring in Francisco Lindor when you have Gleyber Torres and you can bring Didi? You can probably bring Didi back on a nice deal.
No, because I think the way this team is constructed,
if the Yankees are going to go out there and prove that they're going to spend big money on free agent starting pitching like Cole and Wheeler or Cole and Strasburg, and you want to get wild and trade everybody for Lindor, I have no problem with that. But if you're not going to do that, you cannot absolutely not trade assets for Francisco Lindor when you need starting pitching.
All right, here's something before we get into to anything else. I just really quick hitter here. There's a lot of talk I would rather Lindor and Wheeler than get Garrett Cole.
Well, you're stupid then.
I agree 100%.
Because you don't need Francisco Lindor. You need Garrett Cole.
Right. I agree 100%.
And Zach Wheeler is nice, but he's not Garrett Cole.
He's not the guy that puts you over the top to win a championship.
All right, Ryan, what do you want to do here with Didi Gregorius?
Just from a business perspective, just because the Yankees have Gleyber Torres that they could put at shortstop and LeMahieu, they could throw him over at second base every day, I'm dumping Didi Gregorius. I love the guy, but I'm dumping.
Chris?
I'm keeping. It's got to be a team-friendly deal, but I'm keeping him. I think that we are forgetting too much what he's capable of at Yankee Stadium when he's healthy over a full year. You're giving up a left-handed bat when you get rid of him, and we just talked about needing to take advantage of that short porch. Mm-hmm. And we talk about a guy like Sanchez being so valuable as a catcher. Well, I think Didi is so valuable as a shortstop because of the power and because of what he's capable of in that way. You don't see that in a shortstop all the time, especially a left-handed batting shortstop in a stadium like Yankee Stadium. I think that this team, realistically, he might not be the best available guy that you can put out there, but because our focus is on pitching, I think Didi is the right choice. So I'm keeping him.
Yeah, I think I would vote to keep Didi Gregorius. I threw out that number 3 for 45 because that's what I would feel comfortable offering him, and I think
that's fair.
I think he might say yes to something like that. I just can't imagine that next year being the year that the Yankees win the World Series and Didi Gregorius not being on that team.
Yeah. And I think the Yankees see that too.
And even if he leaves and he never wins a World Championship with the Yankees, he'll always go down as one of my favorite players.
Yeah,
because he was put in in an impossible position.
Yeah, a position that a big named player was openly speaking about that he didn't want to fill those shoes.
Didi Gregorius struggled his first 6 months or his first half of a season with the Yankees, and I forget who said it to him, but they said, "You can't be the next Derek Jeter. You have to be. You have to be yourself.
I believe it was Girardi.
You have to be Didi Gregorius. Don't worry about filling Derek Jeter's shoes. Fill Didi Gregorius' shoes." And from that point on, he had a good second half of 2015. He had a really good 2016. He had a really good 2017. He was really good in 2018. And unfortunately, the Tommy John surgery, he never really got going last year. He never really got going. And
you saw glimpses of it.
And I think that's what is sticking in a lot of fans' minds that don't want him back, is just the way he never really got going.
I agree, 100%.
So I would keep Didi, because again, if you just look at it, if you're not, because I'm going to look at this like we tell the fans all the time. You're the GM of the Yankees. What are you doing here? I'm not trading my whole farm system for Francisco Lindor when I don't need him.
Right. If Garrett Cole was not a free agent and we had to trade for him, I'd trade everybody, because we do need him or a guy like him.
And I've seen it enough the last 2 years where I like my double play combination of Didi and Gleyber Torres, and it allows me to do different things with DJ LeMahieu in case I got a hole at first base, or I got a hole at third base, and I can move Didi around and play him at second.
And we talked about this too. Realistically, can they not sign anyone, including Didi, and use Urshela? Sure, but aren't we still questioning if Urshela's season was a fluke, or if he really has that bat now? You don't want to put that kind of pressure on your organization, that if Gio comes out and he goes back to being the old Gio up at the plate, that now you're scrambling. So,
are you done?
Talk about depth, right? Talk about depth. They might not need to sign someone, including Didi, but signing Didi is the best way to give depth in that offense.
All right, let's see what the fans had to say here. You want to start off with a doozy? You want to start off with a doozy right now? This is at NYY Pitching Skip. I'm guessing he voted dump him, because this is his comment, because he looked completely checked out in the ALCS and his post-game interviews. He sounded like a prick who didn't want to be there.
So,
anonymous account, you're a fucking idiot, okay? So I can't believe I gave your Twitter handle out on this podcast right now, just so people can find you and tell you what a fucking moron you are. Okay, you're a dumber piece of shit than Pat Shermer. Okay, so go fuck yourself.
Wow, that's harsh. But like, what if he was really happy and whatever? Then what would they say? He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. His mind's somewhere else. How could you be happy?
You're a loser.
I mean, what do you think?
You must be. That must be.
You want to know why he's that way?
That's probably Pat Shermer's burner account, because you're a fucking moron.
You want to know why he's that way? Because he loves this team, and they just lost a game that really everyone at the start of the season didn't think they were going to lose. They lost.
This is Alex B. Current says, #keep him. Beyond analytics, Didi is an integral part of the team. Everyone loves the guy. He's a lefty bat, which we don't have many of, and plays an above-average shortstop. He made most of us forget about Jeter. I don't know if I would go that far, but he did fill it. I mean, you can't ask anybody to do a better job than Didi did filling in for replacing Derek Jeter. I hope he can come back on a 3-year deal around $50 million, which was, about where we were at.
That's Abby's brother.
Are you just name dropping everybody today?
I'm just letting you know.
I figured that's who that was. And that's also why I read his quote. Let's see here. Let's get another one here.
Dead air.
Pearls for Swine. That's a good name. 1 year, $12 million. Slight pay increase over last season out of respect. You get a chance to rebuild your free agent value. No haggling. Take it or leave it. I don't think the Yankees are going to put a 1-year deal in front of him. I don't think that's fair to Didi, and I don't think that's what the Yankees are looking to do either. So.
No. Because we
you're just
talked
gonna
about
offer him
disrespecting him, right?
If you're going to offer him a 1-year deal, you would have just given him the qualifying offer and then
fuck
let
it.
him and see what he said and then let him walk.
Because
after that.
I mean that might be a higher number than you want to pay him over the course of a year, but it's still less money than if you give him more years. So why not just offer it to him?
All right, the Birdman. We'll move on here. Edwin Encarnacion. We know the Yankees declined his option. It never. I mean, after he had an abysmal ALCS, the writing was kind of on the wall for him. It doesn't look like he'll be back, even if he wants to accept less money because he kind of is an asshole and he sucks. I don't know if he's an asshole, but he sucks.
He's probably an asshole.
I have a bad taste in my mouth from his playoff performance. How do the fans vote on the Birdman, Edwin Encarnacion?
I'm going to say Right, you go.
80% dump.
I'm going to say 75% dump.
90.
Wow. That's high.
Dump.
That's a high dump. That's an upper decker dump.
Hefty.
What are you doing?
90%
What are you doing, Ryan?
Dumping.
Dumping?
Yeah, it's just,
Christian, I want to go last on this one.
I already said what I needed to say about him. I don't want him on the team again.
Which, it sucked because after that first round, you were like, oh, man, I'll take him back next year for sure. And then just complete 180.
I'm dumping, but what if he came back on like some ridiculous, like shitty deal, good for the Yankees?
Or is he going to take $500,000?
No.
Then fuck him.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe.
Only if he would take the league minimum.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Don't you like having his bat in the regular season if you can get him for like
$1 million
nothing?
bucks? Somebody's going to pay him $10 to $15 million a year.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid, I think.
Talked about where you can cut the fat.
Texas, I think Texas would pay him.
Where you can cut the fat. You think Texas is going to pay everyone?
Yeah,
really,
no, I
Ryan.
do.
What
I
you
know.
think they struck
They
gold
are.
when
They
built
are.
that new
They-
stadium?
Look up what Texas plans on doing this offseason.
Texas.
They're-
All my exes
Exes
live in Texas.
They want to be heavy spenders this offseason.
Yeah, well, good for them. They have Edwin Encarnacion, and you'll lose 84 games.
Oh, maybe half of our fan base can be fans of the Rangers then.
They shelled
if
out
they're
money
gonna-
for Lance Lynn last year.
All right, let's see what the fans had to say. I don't think we need to go too much deeper into this. Bob, our buddy Bob, here says he blew up in the ALCS, killed the Yankees. They had high expectations for him. I did too. Fair enough.
He was really
Thanks,
shitty
Bob.
in the ALCS, but you can argue that the Yankees, I mean, they still would have beat the Twins, but maybe not in 3 games without him. He was so good in the ALDS, man.
Doesn't matter.
No, I know.
Patrick, keep walking that parrot. He's a proven big hitter. Too bad he didn't hit in the ALCS, though, Patrick.
Hello,
We
fellas.
love you, but wrong. One more here. Quentin Phillips says Edwin was frequently injured. His play during the tournament. Why you can't just say the playoffs? I don't know. You have to be fancy and use words like tournament. Was
Never heard that before.
Was suboptimal. We need youth. Okay, thanks. Next.
Maybe I should read the comments from now on.
No.
Okay, you're dumb. Next.
Hey, they know what they're getting into here. Lucas. No, his name's not Luke. I always want to call him Lucas. That's not his name. Luke Voigt. Lewis Linwood Voigt the third or the fourth or whatever the fuck it is. Luke Voigt. How do the fans vote on Luke Voigt?
I'm going to go keep at 73% keep.
I'll go 77% keep.
Ryan was closer at 78% to keep.
I think Luke Voigt is one of those guys that we've been more unfair to. Well, you two kind of have been more unfair to than the fans have been.
You think so?
Yeah. From what I read and like scrolling through Twitter, when I do, I mean, we went into this season. I said this. We went into the season saying, is Luke Voigt the guy or not? And then halfway through the season, we said, yeah, this guy has done enough now to prove it. What? So now, just because he got hurt and didn't really bounce back, that we're just gonna penalize him and say, no, he's not the guy anymore?
Yes.
We talk about short-term memory. I mean, he's a good hitter. When he's in that lineup every day, he's a very good hitter.
He's a good hitter.
And he's a scary hitter.
He's okay.
No, he's good.
He's all right.
I think you're very unfair to Luke Voigt.
I'm not, because I have to look at my roster construction right now.
Okay, we're gonna just
Okay,
muffle our mouth the whole time.
Because I'm letting you talk, but I'm going in between the lines here. I look at my roster construction here.
Okay.
If I can move Luke Voigt, yeah, I'm gonna do it. He's 28 years old. I think we know what he is at this point. He's a good hitter. He'll probably hit 265, 270.
But who are you moving him for?
It doesn't matter. I told you, it doesn't matter. It's just I'm just looking. Ryan's got a hard on for Justin Smoke today. I don't know what it is. He gets fixated on certain players.
But Smoke's a free agent.
Smoke him if you got him.
Yes,
I mean,
Yeah, he's a free agent.
we talked about the value of Luke Voigt, not just of what he's done on the field, but the amount of control the Yankees have over him. Don't they have 4 years of control left over him?
They have a lot of control.
You're not just going to trade him for anybody, and I don't think there's anyone out there that makes this team better that Luke Voigt is the deciding factor in a trade.
Okay. You asked me. The point of this is, if you are the Yankees general manager, would you get rid of a guy or keep him?
But you said if you can move him for someone. Who you don't care who you're moving him for?
No, get rid of him.
Luke Voigt's a free agent 2025. Okay.
Right,
is
you
he?
get 2025.
Yankees have a lot of control over him. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of control with Luke Voigt, but do they want a guy that's kind of a question mark in the lineup? Do they want to go for a guy like, let's say, I've heard a lot of rumblings about this guy Justin Smoke. Do they go for a Justin Smoke type? I don't know. Let's go to Tony Brungard.
You got it out of your system?
Yeah. I don't know, man. But do they want a guy who just is? I don't know. Like, I don't know who Luke Voigt is.
So,
anymore.
Christian, you're a dump?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
I just think he's another one-dimensional player.
Why though?
Because he's not good at first base.
I disagree.
We have like 9 guys that can't play a position.
Well, it is the arbitrary position. We talked about that already. You could be blind and play first base. Just stick them right out there.
Yeah, you're asking me if I'm running the Yankees, what am I doing? I would try to move Luke Voigt. This is what pisses me off here. This is like a big analytic thing this week because people are bored. There's nothing happening. It's the all season. It was Luke Voigt versus Miguel Andujar on Yankees Twitter. And if you wanted to keep Miguel Andujar over Luke Voigt, you were a moron because Luke Voigt's analytics are so much better than the Miguel Andujar's. And guess what? Luke Voigt's also 28 years old, and Miguel Andujar's what, 24?
Yeah.
How old is he? How old is Luke Voigt? He is 28 now, right?
Luke Voigt might be older than that. 24. Luke Voigt,
28.
28.
He's going to be 29 this season.
Yeah.
Be
That's a good.
29 by the
I mean,
start of the
that's a
year.
fair point.
I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
When you're comparing the two.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, like, I would rather see what Miguel Andujar has as a potential first baseman, and I'm covered with DJ LeMahieu still on this team
And Gio.
at first base. I'm talking about, and I'm pretty sure that I couldn't even get rid of Greg Bird if I packaged Aaron Judge with him and asked you for your ball boy. I still couldn't get any. You still wouldn't take Greg Bird. So, and again, we're going to talk about left-handed power. Okay, Ryan, Justin Smoke.
Mitch Moreland.
Yeah.
What'd the fans say?
I don't know what Ryan said. Or did we? Did you say what you
No, I don't think I did.
Your brother doesn't value your opinion, that's why.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, dude, I want this team to be complete and proven, and I don't think Luke Voigt makes that standard for me anymore. I think he's a good hitter. I need the best possible lineup out there, and I think there's better options available going into the offseason to start at first base, or at least even off the bench if they decide to go LeMahieu at first base to start the year. I think I'm dumping Luke Voigt.
Hey, I'm
definitely not planning on starting Luke Voigt. I'll say I'll put him on the bench.
I'll be honest with you. I really think.
No, I'm dumping.
I really
Dump.
think that the Yankees.
It's tough though.
The Yankees are very comfortable with starting DJ at first base.
Yeah, I mean they did the entire postseason.
Yeah, and I think that they're confident in a guy like DJ to if they say, you know what, you might be our guy for first base, we need you to work on it, that he's going to come back and be a Gold Glove caliber first baseman in 2020 if he takes it seriously, because he's that good.
And then you have Andujar too, if you can throw a first base glove.
I mean,
we're talking
about a guy who in the biggest games of the year got thrown at a position that he barely ever played. And yeah, he botched some balls, but some of those picks.
Oh, dude, he had some nice picks.
I mean, first basemen who've been playing the game for 30 years don't even make those picks.
Those are some
so
good picks.
You're talking about a guy who has all the potential in the world to get better wherever you need him to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Fans?
Yeah. Okay. Rish has to say he's good when healthy. Too bad he hasn't played much this year because of injury. I would start him next year in AAA and call him up in May. You're not
No,
you're not doing that.
No.
I think if anything, Luke Voigt has proven that he's a Major League Baseball player.
Yes.
If that's your plan with Luke Voigt, you're gonna get rid of him. Okay. Ed Weldon, we have DJ. Use that money for pitching. Okay, genius.
There's no money
He made
attached to him.
what did he make? $600,000 last year.
Probably.
Okay, so you want to get a $600,000 pitcher?
Sure.
573,000.
Okay, so
sure.
Okay, let's line up the pitchers we can get for $573,000.
I think we can get Kershaw for $600,000.
That's a good point.
And Streety Cinema says anybody voting dump him can fight me immediately. Well, you know what? Come at me, bro. I don't think that's not you want to die on that hill that you want to fight people over Luke Voigt.
I'll fight someone over Luke Voigt.
You'll lose.
I would fight someone.
I wouldn't fight Luke Voigt over Luke Voigt.
No, definitely not.
All right, here we go. The Cuban Missile, Aroldis Chapman.
Chappie.
We discussed his contract last week, so we don't have to get into that. Ryan, or is this Chris's turn?
No, Ryan.
Sure. Let's go with 94% keep.
I'm going to say 88% keep.
Chris peeked at my phone.
No, I did not.
No, I didn't.
There's video evidence you can see. I didn't even look over.
I didn't do it.
I didn't even look over. Was I right?
Yeah.
What did I guess?
What was it?
88.
I think that's fair. Right? I'm definitely keeping him. I like what I saw out of Aroldis Chapman this year.
I thought he had his best year as a Yankee this year.
I think that based off of this year, you can be confident that you're going to get a few more great years out of him. If he's going to turn into an actual pitcher like he did this year.
Uh-huh.
So I'm keeping all the way.
I dumped him.
You dumped? Yeah, okay. Rye?
We talked all right, Ryan, go.
Keeping him.
Let's just say this. We're all keeping him, obviously. Are you definitely keeping him as your closer?
Yes.
For this season, absolutely, yes.
I don't. What did he show you that he doesn't deserve to be the closer? What did
No,
he show
nothing.
you?
I'm just asking
He had
because
his low CRA
a
for
lot
the
of
Yankees this
people,
year.
a lot of people made the argument that hey, if they don't sign him, we got Britton, we got this
he
guy.
wasn't
Most
here.
games he's ever played for the Yankees too.
I think that
Baseball
saves.
Reference is not like the Yankees pitching because they have ridiculous projections for everybody that we've looked up on here.
God.
He's going to pitch to a 3.51 ERA this year.
Can I just say something to you?
22 saves?
Do you know it's not like some
What?
dude sitting behind a computer like his name's like fucking Fred? It's not like Fred sitting behind a computer going, you know what, I think Chapman is going to throw 32 innings next year.
Yeah, where did they get their numbers from?
They
though?
have algorithms.
Yeah,
That's
they're
why
algorithms.
there's different wars.
Their
So it's not that they
algorithms.
don't like the Yankees.
What did I say? They don't like the Yankees, or did I say that they're ridiculous? They have ridiculous projections.
You
for
said
them?
I don't think Baseball Reference likes the Yankees pitching.
Ryan, did I say that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Okay, whatever. Go fuck you two. You can go fuck yourselves. Okay.
Hey Tony, come over here real quick.
Okay.
What do you think Chapman's going to? How many strikeouts?
Disgusting.
It probably is Fred.
I'm
Fred's
going
probably
to say
sitting
150 strikeouts. Okay, good
Fred's probably
projection.
like,
Good
okay.
projection, Tony.
Oh, he gave up a home run to Altuve. Oh, God. He's terrible.
I'll be done with these projections in 2025.
All right. Roll this Chapman. I don't see why you would get rid of him. The Yankees also agreed with us that you wouldn't get rid of him because they extended him. So good. I mean,
welcome back, chap.
here, we'll read here. Shane Rowley says, keep. Why give yourself the headache of trying to get another closer
It's true.
at the same standard when he's probably in the top 3 right now?
Yeah, great point. I don't even want to hear any other comments. That's just a great point.
Good job, Shane.
Yeah,
Good job,
Shane.
man.
Wow.
Come
Fucking
join the
Shane,
pod, dude.
bro.
Take my seat.
Fuck. Fucking love you, Shane.
And here, Patrick, I like this one, so we got to read it. Whoever votes to dump him is either a troll or on a day pass from the funny farm.
Fellas.
That's Ireland lingo, fellas.
And MW Frankel says, I know what happened with the final pitch of the season, but who would you rather have in that spot?
Yeah.
I mean, he's your closer.
That's it. He's your guy.
Yeah, Mariano Rivera blew World Series games, so, I mean, you can't hold that. I mean, you can't really hold that against Aroldis Chapman.
That was 18 years ago yesterday or something. That Luis Gonzalez base hit up the middle.
Fuck him.
Ugh.
Whatever. Fucking loser.
Guy's a bum.
It broke my heart. Such a good World Series.
He's not in the Hall of Fame, right?
For
No,
what?
No, I know.
The Hall of Fame of losers.
He had some
Right.
great seasons, like a couple.
On steroids. Ryan, look up
Was he a
Luis
steroid
Gonzalez.
guy?
Watch this.
While
You're
he,
on Baseball Reference.
oh my
Well,
god!
I thought you wanted to like an
Fucking
article or
tab
something.
whore, bro.
I got that same tab.
Look at this. The guy never hit
Ew.
more than. All right, look at this. He never from 1990 to 1990. Where are we here?
I don't know.
All right, from 1990 to 1999, his career high in home runs was 26. Then in 2000, he hit 31. And then in 2001, he hit 57. And then never topped 30 for the rest of his career. He played till
He had 57 home runs.
Holy
and he played until he was he retired in 2008.
What was he sitting home and he was like, "Do you think I should gradually
Wasn't that
do
like
You think I should gradually take steroids and like gradually get stronger,
just do all of
or
them.
should I do all of
Do
them?
all the
now?
steroids.
wasn't that what
right
somewhat
now.
similar with Brett Boone? I just pulled up his. I know.
No, Boone did have 1 year that
Yeah,
was
he
just
was
like.
like
2001
2019,
again.
and
He
then
had
he hit-
37 home runs and drove in 141 runs.
But when you do
still
that
not
over
Gonzalez,
just, I mean,
though.
Jesus,
That's
that's
ridiculous.
crazy.
Should I just do all the steroids
Should
right
I do them
now?
right now?
So you're supposed to pace yourself with these steroids.
Honey,
Babe.
how many steroids should I do today?
57 home runs
57
worth, sweetheart.
steroids?
142 RBIs.
Babe, this cycle says I should do it over 3 years. Should I just do it in one?
Yeah, should I get crazy and just fuck around and do
Holy
all the steroids right now?
Came in
Oh
18th only in MVP. I don't know.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Oh, it's
that's crazy.
Third that year. My fault.
Yeah.
That's cray.
Okay.
All right.
He drove in 142 runs that year too, which is career high by about 30.
And he played every single game.
Every game. That's steroids.
Oh my God.
Okay, I don't know. His name has ever really been linked to anything. I don't know, but I'm just looking at the numbers, and I'm like, come on now. The 5 wackiest power surges of the steroid era. Here we go with Luis Gonzalez.
That's crazy, man.
Is he number
Wow.
one? No,
He's number 3. He's got the third weirdest. What did they call it? The wackiest.
Yeah.
The third wackiest home run jump in steroid history, or the steroid era.
He was 33 when he did that.
That's crazy.
Go up for a second. I want to
Yeah.
see. Stop. Go up, down. Yeah, I don't know. He went 16 for 65 with 3 home runs in their postseason run with 1 broken bat hit. Scumbag. But I don't know. I'm just saying. Look at the numbers. That's weird.
Yeah.
All right.
Some,
Final person. We saved the boss of bosses here. Well, no, he's not really. He would be what? I guess he would be. I don't know what you would call him. He's the number 2 guy behind Hal. He would be Hal's consigliere. Brian.
I think Hal is his bitch, actually.
Well, if he is, then I don't know. Why isn't that spending more of that money then? Anyway, Brian Cashman.
Keep.
Where are the fans on Brian Cash? B Cash.
I'm gonna say 76%.
Right.
Keep.
I think they're higher. I'd say 87.
83 for Brian Cashman.
Okay. Again,
That's low to me.
yeah, but you know what? I think to be fair, like we've said numerous times since they were eliminated, he's not on the hot seat, obviously, but even the rational fans are starting to say, okay, time to shit or get off the pot, you know? And I put here, if you're watching us on YouTube, I put Cashman's legacy as our topic because I've said it, you know, after 2016, this is really where Cashman's going to build his legacy. This is his team from the ground up, if you want to, you know, in Yankee terms of what rebuilding is. And, you know, over the last 2 years, you were happy with it because they weren't expected to do much. They weren't supposed to do much, and they did. But this now was the first year that we were expecting them to win a World Series, and they didn't. So the first year of his legacy that he's building here was a failure. So, you know, you have a couple more years now to play with. I'm keeping him obviously right now, but I'm kind of with Christian. If they don't win it again in 2020, I'm starting to consider him not being the guy for the job.
Yeah, I have nothing else. I'm on the exact same boat as that. Give him another year before you really start to even think about putting him on the hot seat, see how it this year plays out, and then pick it back up next season. That's it. Keep him for this year.
And you know what?
Right. This poll is for 2020. So, yes, obviously I'm keeping him for 2020. But if the Yankees don't win a World Series or at least get there in 2020, he's got to go.
And here's where I think Cashman's getting the brunt of all this, and I don't think it's fair. You have fans saying pitching wasn't the issue, right? And we can all agree that when you really dissect it, it might not be the issue. But that's been his weak spot, so it's where people are attacking him. You can't sit here and tell me that Cashman didn't put a team with talent on the field. It's that talent didn't execute. I'm sorry. I don't think that Cashman's to blame for not winning a World Series this year. I think he built a phenomenal baseball team that just didn't show up in the ALCS. How much can the GM do? You saw the Astros pick up fucking Greinke. They had Cole have the year of his life, and they still didn't win a World Series.
Plus, you look at all the injuries that the Yankees had to go through this season, and you don't get through those injuries without the depth that the Yankees had, and the Yankees don't have that depth without a good GM and Brian Cashman going out and getting guys like Gio Urshela.
That's fine. Don't promise the fan base.
You're right, and that's where he's wrong.
You're right. Wait, what did he promise them again?
2019 would be the year.
Yeah.
We were told that, hey, we'll be ready to compete, be a championship contender in 2019. And being a contender doesn't mean losing in 6 games in the ALCS.
And hey, again, we didn't ask for that timeline. We weren't sitting here saying put a year on it. You did that.
You offered it up, Brian.
You did, Brian.
Come on, Brian.
How many rings has Brian Cashman won as general manager of the New York Yankees?
As GM, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
98 was his first?
Yeah. He was with the organization in 96, though. He just wasn't general manager. Almost positive about that. All right.
Brian Cashman was actually assistant GM of the Yankees as far back as 1992.
Really?
I asked this question because some jagaloon said this. He said, how many rings have we had since Brian Cashman took over? You can answer that and then have the answer to your poll question. So
he was
told
an
him,
intern in 1986.
Yeah, he's been with the team a long time.
How old is he? Fucking 80?
He's 52 years old. Okay. So his point then being when I answered 4 was that the first 2 don't count for Brian Cashman.
Right.
Because he inherited the team.
Right.
So that means that in this person's mind, Brian Cashman sat around and did absolutely nothing for 2 years as general manager of the Yankees.
And you know what? That's
he
fair.
Didn't trade for Roger Clemens. He didn't trade for Chuck Knobloch. He didn't sign Alfonso Soriano. He didn't sign El Duque. He did nothing. He did absolutely nothing to fortify the Yankees' 2 championship teams in 98 and 99. And then what I didn't get into with him because I really didn't care to because he was honestly kind of being an idiot at that point because you don't get to decide what titles go on his resume and what don't. He was a general manager for 4 World Series teams. Why was the cutoff at 99? Then all of a sudden, 2000, he gets credit for that?
Right. And I have a question. Do you think the GM has anything to do with evaluating players and saying, hey, maybe he shouldn't be a setup man? Maybe he shouldn't be a starting pitcher. Maybe he should be a closer. Do you think he has anything to do with that?
Why, do you think he doesn't?
I think he does.
Okay, so.
When did Mariano Rivera really break through as a closer?
He took over the role in 1997.
1997, and I don't think he had too many appearances as a closer in 97. I don't think he was fully solidified.
No, he was.
I think that Brian Cashman being a part of this team, being assistant GM, making those types of decisions along with everyone else has a big factor in him being a part of this team. He's been a part of this team, whether it's as
he
GM.
He had 43 saves in 97, so he was
wow.
pretty solidified.
I didn't realize he was that.
As closer. No, he took over. That's why they let Wetland walk, because they finally, in 95, they had no idea what Mariano Rivera was, and that's a story that everybody tells is that Buck didn't know what Mo was. If he did, they would have probably beaten the Seattle Mariners. In 96, Joe Torre knew what he had. Setup guy, boom. That's why they were able to let Wetland walk so easily.
How did we even? So we're all keep, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How irrational were the fans other than?
Yeah, wait, what was the percentage on it?
83. Patrick, we're going to read another Patrick comment.
Fellas.
Man, Patrick, you're getting some
thanks for
fucking
contributing.
airtime tonight.
Patrick.
It's the last chance saloon for Cash next season. He has to deliver a World Series or his time is up. # no more excuses.
# last chance saloon.
Real Legend 2 says, Cash builds a team from scratch like Stick did with core players and 17% want to dump him. Shaking my head.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who was that one?
That was
He's legendary, that guy.
yeah, that was Real Legend 2.
He's the real legend.
Oh, boy.
The second one.
And
Oh, boy.
we'll give this guy a shout out here because he does he does like to comment a lot on Zach the Bad Shepherd. Bad. He actually is he actually has what are they, goats or lambs? He actually does shepherd those things, so I have talked to him about that. He says, "How is the kink in the hose not Cashman?" We really don't know what it, we really don't know yet. I mean, I can't put it on anybody's plate right now. I think this is a very, very telling off season right now.
Name 2 guys that ruined the postseason chances for the New York Yankees.
One's a scumbag woman beater.
Okay.
And the other guy...
Well, no, not Herman.
Why
I'm
not?
talking about the guys who played.
Larry.
Larry's to blame for everything. Who are 2 guys that played this
definitely
year?
John Carl Stanton. Definitely.
I would just blame the DH.
You have to blame John Carl Stanton
the
because
DH.
you're not a real Yankee fan if you don't blame John Carl
True.
Stanton.
But realistically, what 2 guys do you put blame on?
Gary Sanchez.
Okay.
I'll blame him.
Okay.
Sure. And maybe Adam Ottavino.
You want to go a pitcher? Ottavino wasn't great, but Edwin Encarnacion had many terrible at bats and big spots than anybody in the AL.
Yeah,
okay, and let me ask you this: whether you questioned it or not, when the move was made, did Encarnacion not end up being a great midseason pickup for this team? Is it Cashman's fault that this guy had to do what he's capable of doing? Is it Cashman's fault that his superstar catcher couldn't come through in the big spot? No.
But he didn't trade him, Chris. Gary Sanchez sucks, and he didn't trade him, and everybody knows that except for Brian Cashman.
Look, you got to put blame
there.
You got to put blame on someone somewhere. I just don't think this was the year to blame any of the organizational guys, the upper management guys.
Well, you know what? If Brian Cashman's plan is to not spend big money on starting pitching, then you need to figure out a way to get big starting pitching here without spending big money and win a fucking World Series that way. And if you don't, then you got to go.
With the free agent class this year, there's no excuse now. Now you can start to blame upper management.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna see who is the, as Zach the Bad Shepherd says, who is the real kink in the hose? Is it Brian Cashman? Is Brian Cashman that goddamn stubborn where he's like, I don't need a $35 million starting pitcher, or is it Hal, where it's like, you're not spending $35 million on a starting pitcher?
Yeah.
But again, the Yankees took on fucking Giancarlo Stanton's contract. So this is what the biggest baffling thing in this whole Yankees are cheap scenario is. They still went and took Giancarlo Stanton's contract. That they didn't want to get in bed with those types of players. It doesn't matter that they didn't get Stanton. They got Stanton for a fucking bag of peanuts. They still went and got him.
Yeah, I agree.
That's is like the one thing that I always look at. Like, the Yankees are so cheap, but why did they go and do this then? Or is just nothing ever really made that much sense to them other than getting Giancarlo Stanton in the last 2 years?
It could have been like a desperate move. I don't know. I mean,
They didn't need Stanton.
they didn't need him, but they spent the money on him. I mean, they took him on. So, and I think being healthy, he can be that guy for us. So,
I just can't get over that. Like, that's what I keep going to every time somebody says, "Oh, the Yankees are cheap. They'll never spend big money on a player again." Why the hell did they sign? Why did they make the trade for Stanton? Why? Why did they do that then? For a player they didn't need. They had Aaron Judge. If Aaron Judge didn't have the 2017 that he had, then I understand going and getting Giancarlo Stanton 110%. They didn't need him.
yeah. He was just served up on a silver platter.
Again, if you don't want to get in bed with those types of players, it doesn't matter if somebody asked you for a dirty handkerchief. You still don't fucking trade for him.
Yeah. You know, there's one topic. Do you guys have anything else you want to say about Cashman?
No.
Because there's one topic we forgot to kind of bring up, and we don't have to go into it. We're running long. But we forgot to bring up the fact that DJ LeMahieu didn't even make it as a finalist for MVP voting this year. And Marcus Semien did. And Christian, I know you're more in tune with the people on Twitter and everything. What was the biggest reason behind Semien getting that nod over DJ?
I don't know. His numbers I don't know. And
What's the one stat?
Is it his WAR?
Yes. And even Ken Rosenthal came on, and I actually respect him for this. I don't really care for him. But he said the writers, including himself in the past, put too much stock behind WAR. Where if you look at the top 3 guys in WAR, it's the top 3 guys who are finalists for MVP, and that's everyone's argument. And my argument back is, it's because he's a New York Yankee, and they're saying no. But here's my problem. If you go back to 2017, do you know who had a better WAR in every single type of WAR that you can have, except for one where he tied? Aaron Judge. Okay? But so then the argument back to me is, well, the writers were just stupid that year. He should have won. Okay, so you're proving my point. He should have won, but he's a New York Yankee, so he didn't. You can't sit here and fight me about WAR being the end-all, be-all, and then when I show you when a guy had a better WAR and all the arguments you did and still didn't win, and have a mainstream writer like Rosenthal admit it, there's a big problem. How is DJ LeMahieu not a finalist? Not that he would have won anyway, but come on. Marcus Semien, he had a great year. But don't argue WAR when WAR doesn't seem to matter when a New York Yankee's going up against a Houston Astro 2 years ago.
Tabhor Ryan adding it again here.
I mean, just think of the term valuable. I mean, I've never seen a season as valuable as DJ LeMahieu's was this year.
Yeah, but that's what WAR does, is it measures value.
Right.
So why wasn't it measured in 2017?
Well, it measures wins, right?
Because
wins
Aaron
above.
Judge struck out 250 times or whatever it was. That's why. Cause that's
Okay, so his WAR was that good despite that. That's how good of a season he had. Don't fight if
leading
you're gonna.
Off an
If
inning,
WAR,
he hit 290 leading off an inning.
if WAR's your end all be all, don't give me other stats, because clearly they're putting way too much stock behind WAR.
Clutch stats. Look at this: 2 outs, runners in scoring position. He hit 388, 26 hits, 44.
look at his
ribbies.
OPS was 1.1.
Oh my god!
Tie game. He
So
hit
it wasn't
300.
a lot of he was hitting.
And again, I'm not trying to be petty here. I'm just trying to bring up a point that don't fucking argue me war. And then when I throw at you why your argument is invalid, that your response back is, well, the Raiders were just stupid. They had a brain fart in 2017. No.
He hit 400 in what they consider high leverage situations.
Aaron Judge should have won the MVP in 2017. Okay.
Yeah, well, should have isn't good enough.
Okay, well, he didn't. And DJ LeMahieu
hit 325 in the ninth
should have been
inning.
a finalist, but who cares? He wasn't going to win anyway.
It's just the point.
It's just something for people to get upset over. It doesn't matter. He wasn't going to win anyway.
Just the point.
So does this confirm that Rocco Baldelli is going to win Manager of the Year?
100% or cash.
No, at least
yeah, Boone will come in third.
At least Aaron Boone got a finalist nod, right?
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
But again, everybody that hates him would have been up in arms.
When did they announce the winners?
I don't know.
Soon. You seem tired.
November 14th, so in 4 days. Oh, no, that was last year.
So it's probably around the same time, though.
Yeah, around the 14th.
Which, maybe this week. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, these awards
I'll never care about the awards.
Man.
Actually, Rookie of the Year is tomorrow. We'll find out.
Cool.
And Tuesday, they'll announce the
Rocco Baldelli.
The Managers of the Year, and Wednesday will be Cy Young Award winner, and then I guess, the 14th again will be the MVP.
Yeah, so I was right.
Okay.
Cool.
Sweet.
Speaking of awards, next week will be the third annual NYYST Awards show. We switched it up this year. We went keep 'em dump 'ems first, and then doing the awards. So we'll do our awards show next week. I have to go back and look and see.
Is Minko hosting those awards?
I don't know. Can you get him?
I could make some calls.
You make some calls.
We have the hookup.
Okay.
He's looking for a side gig.
Oh yeah.
He was texting me off the chain. I was busy, but I told him
old men text Ryan. That's good information to know.
Yes, okay. I text old man.
All right. So please go to iTunes, 5-star rating and review. Go to YouTube, search NYYST Podcast, subscribe to the show. You can watch us there. If you don't want to listen, you can watch. Follow us on Twitter at NYY Sports Talk. And Stat Guy Rye.
Go Yanks.
Chris, say goodbye.
Peace!